Alright, the foundation of the motherfucking Bible. Well, mind your language. It's gonna get quite hectic. It's gonna get quite hectic. Gonna get quite hectic. I, I'm gonna play a song. Let me play a song.
It's the motherfucking Bible, nigga. It's the motherfucking
Bible,
Bible, nigga.
nigga.
It's the
The
motherfucking
fucking Bible.
Bible, nigga. Yeah, them bitch hoes can
Fucking
choke
choke
on
on
the
a
dick.
dick.
They
They
can
can
choke
choke
on
on
the
the
dick.
dick.
Them bitch hoes can
They
choke
choke
on
on
the
the
dick.
dick.
Hoes can choke on
On
the
the
dick.
dick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
them
that
bitch
bitch
hoes
house
can
can choke.
the Bible, nigga.
Nigga.
It's
It's
the
the
motherfucking
motherfucking
Bible,
Bible.
nigga.
Nigga. I
It's
wrote
the
the
motherfucking
motherfucking
Bible,
Bible,
nigga.
nigga.
It's
Wrote the
the motherfucking
motherfucking
Bible,
Bible.
nigga.
Yeah, the bitch house could
Choke
choke
on
on
the
it,
dick.
dick.
It's
They
the
could choke on
motherfucking
it, dick.
Bible, nigga.
Yeah, the
Shit,
bitch
it's
house
the
could choke on
motherfucking
it, dick.
Bible, nigga. Shit,
You could choke
nigga,
on it, dick.
Bible, nigga. Yeah, the bitch
Bitch
house
house
can
could
choke
choke
on
on
the
it,
dick.
dick. They could choke on it, dick. Yeah, the bitch house could choke on it, dick. Yeah, they could choke on it, dick. I wrote the motherfucking Bible, nigga. So this is what's up. The Bible is one of the most respected pieces of literature ever written. I think it's also one of the most profound pieces of literature ever written. What makes it special is the fact that it's like seemingly one spirit behind the writings that is writing this piece of literature and getting people, commissioning people to put this down over centuries, thousands of years. And then when it's put down into the Hebrew Aramaic scrolls, and then the Greek scrolls, then it's translated into Latin, then it's translated into the different languages that we have today. So it's the biggest project. The Bible is the biggest project ever undertaken by you know by anyone. And this is what kind of for me, the Bible is evidence that there is a transcendent spirit that lives in every generation trying to do the same fucking thing, right? That's the one spirit, and that's the spirit that I'd call God. So for me, I'm not too concerned about the characters in the literature, but the evidence of a God, of a deity, is the fact that there's this person that persisted, this being that's persisted with the story, persisted in putting this message down. And for those who are like woke African spiritualists who come and say that the Bible is a white man's book, fuck that, bro. It's never been the white man's book. The white man did use it to manipulate and colonize us and influence and convince us to stray from our way of life. Yes, true, 100%. They used the Bible as a tool to colonize and conquer, right? It's actually probably the biggest tool, a more effective tool than the gun. The colonizer could have never colonized us with just the gun. The most effective tool was the doctrine that they created around the Bible literature. But bottom line, Bible is the greatest. The Bible, getting the Bible to what it is now, is the greatest project ever. So the spirit behind the literature is the true God, because this is the spirit that is actually trying to tell us the story and say, guys, get the ball of the story. I'm trying to get in. And this is where my process began in 2018 when I realized, shit, I'm the original author. Fuck. This is why I wrote this shit, so that it was a trap, so that I would have a tool that I'll be born into this life, and I'd have this tool that would trap my soul, trap my spirit, and say, nah, bruh, Book of Ecclesiastes, nigga. Shit. Don't be out here chasing after the wind. It's all chasing after the wind. What you gonna do? And compel me to respond to this opportunity to life in the way that I have. And that's how I know is that I'm the author, because I am the one that has shown in my generation that I have the courage to respond, even if it means that I have to play the role. Play the role, please be understand, of the wild beast or the 666. I'm the person who will consciously say, okay, somebody gotta be that nigga, so let's be that nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so going back to the principle, the Bible is what people refer to in a joking way to say uh, basic instructions before you leave Earth. Right. So this is supposed to be a manual. In principle, it's a manual that tells you how you want to get to heaven. If you want to get to heaven, this is how you. This is the book you must read if you want to go to heaven. Now, this is what you understand, and I understood it as this as a kid growing up, and this is why I paid a lot of attention to it as a young blood. Because this is supposedly the book that you gotta read if you want to escape the grave and go to heaven. So now, looking at the Bible story, and people don't pay attention to this, is that the Old Testament doesn't talk about heaven at all, guys. And the hope of the Old Testament, of the people of the Old Testament, was the fact that one day God's covenant people will be reestablished, and the whole world will come to know that their king, a child from that covenant people, Israel, will be the true God, will reveal himself to the rest of the world and the rest of the kings of the world and the rest of the important people. Peasants to highest to lowest will know that the guy that's seated as the king of the Jews is the true God. Right? So people miss that moral of the story. Old Testament, that's the principle. New Testament, Jesus comes along and claims that his Father art in heaven. His Father is from heaven. And this is where the concept of the kingdom of heaven comes from. So what the Christian and the colonizer has done is just fabricated this doctrine that heaven is a place where you go. It's a spiritual place where you go when you die, right? When the whole concept of the Jewish Messiah was this place on earth that everyone that was alive was hoping to see one day when they get resurrected, right? Um, Now Jesus speaks about this, and he's just saying that no, there's this one, the Son of Man, that is coming with his holy angels to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. That's why the Lord's Prayer was simple, was this: look, if this is how you should pray, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Now, here's the concept, and this is where you know, people need to get off the page, right? And that's why I'm saying that who I was and who I've become is one person, and why I know it's that because the only person in the context of modern society to really attempt to respond to the literature, respond meaning um, um, actually play the role, take up the character. Somebody has to be that guy, you see. So when Jesus claimed that the Son of Man is coming, when people, I think, I'll go into it in a lot of the content that I created. I go into it at length to describe the fact that Jesus was not claiming that he is the one that's coming back. He was claiming to send somebody else. All Jesus did was that he claimed that he was acting on behalf of that one that is coming. So this is what a man called Isaiah Shembe did. He read the literature and he said, Jesus, the Son of Man that is meant to come and establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. Let us prepare a way for that Son of Man that is coming. So he put down what we call ISIHABELELO, which is basically the motherfucking Bible, right? It's a motherfucking Bible of the UBUNAZARETHA. And he put down customs and traditions and things that would help. So it's basically how to get to a heaven on earth. And the purpose of the Isihlabelelo is to get the attention of the Son of Man that would re-establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. So the principle and epiphany of the founder of the Nazareth movement, essentially, that, oh, geez, shit, the Bible talks about the heaven and earth and the fact that the Father art in heaven. We are Zulu. We are heaven. We are the sons of heaven. Right? That was in the context of his thing. And this is what's also odd about it, is that SHEMBE, wasn't living in KwaZulu at the time he has this epiphany. And he comes as an outsider to the Zulu people and says, hey guys, I am from heaven. Right? And this is the epiphany. It's like, I can show you guys how we can get to heaven. And the request that he makes is that please reestablish the kingdom of heaven, because we are those children of heaven that the Bible is talking about. So the epiphany of the founder of the Nazareth movement is that they were the children of heaven, biblically. The Jesus, when he spoke, Jesus was born, and it's like, I'm from heaven, and I'm my son, my father that art in heaven. Right? That was just one of our sons. The epiphany that he had was that the people that were living at that time were the children of heaven. And that kingdom of heaven got overthrown by the colonizer. Right? So the SYMBOLISM becomes a guideline which is basically upholds the principle of what the Bible actually is perceived to be. Shembe wrote the motherfucking Bible and say, guys, you fuck with this, most definitely you'll get to heaven on earth. So this is the how to get to heaven on earth. Right. So this is what's happening. Now I wanna say something quite interesting. Right. Now that we know that, right? So a reason why I'm mentioning ISIHABELELO, because if I'm saying the motherfucking Bible, guys, I'm Tugani. I'm not taking anything away from the actual Bible. Like I just pointed out that it's probably the greatest. It is the greatest piece of literature ever written, because of the extent of the project and the amount of time that was putting into just putting down the message and then preserving the message and making sure that everybody gets the message. It is the greatest piece of literature. So whether you're Muslim or Hindu, sorry guys, it's not an insult or an attack against your religion. It's just what it is. We just have to look at the facts. So let me give you guys some FaceTime. So yeah, now I want to do something. I wanna read from ISIHABELELO. Actually, I wanna read from ISIHABELELO. There's a point that I wanna make. Now, the reason why I've built up to this is to say that there was the Bible, and it has its intent. It's meant to be this manual that allows people to get to heaven, right? And particularly the book of Revelations gives you the script that a generation of people must follow to get to this heaven on earth, right? I've mentioned the fact that Christian doctrine has tried to supplant that idea with this false narrative that people go to heaven when you die, someplace in the sky. Our souls go to this place somewhere, right? When it's actually about a generation of people that will inherit creation, that will stay and live forever and ever in the presence of the King of heaven, right? The King of the heavens, right? Now, what I'm saying now is this: as Shembe comes along, sees the literature and responds and creates a book called ISIHABELELO that becomes a manual to a group of people called MUTHI to say, guys, we're gonna get the attention, and we're gonna provoke a response from a Son of Man that will come and reestablish the kingdom of heaven. And this Son of Man, we will address him as the King of the heavens, INKOSI, YASEKUPHAKAMENI. Right, right, right. So, so, so in this level, here's the irony now is that I come along being that son of man, and I think that's what the whole purpose of the Nazareth movement is it made sure that sometimes like with people we all have an idea and we have a vision and we have a dream, but sometimes we don't really lean into our dreams, right? I'm trying to get the focus right here. We don't try to lean into our dreams because we are preoccupied with the what do we call it? Preoccupied with the demands of life, and we never get to really lean into what we feel in our hearts we can actually do. Right, right, right. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So 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 we get preoccupied with these things and we don't really lean into it. But the purpose of the Nazareth movement was to create such a signal that would compel a person like me to respond anyway. So in 2018, I had the vision and the dream that no, we're going to reestablish this Zulu kingdom. But geez, the demands of life. It's like you have a child. I had my son taken from me. I had people bullying me to say, dude, you're going to go get a job. Fuck you, actually. Fuck you. You're going to go get a job and be a normal person. Right? Cut your fucking hair and be a fucking normal person. Um, and what happens is I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm fucked, and now you're in a corner, and then you meet the Nazareth movement, and you realize, geez, goddamn it, you have to go through with it. You have to go through with it, right? So, so I hope you don't mind the background noise. This is just life happening. So, so that was the purpose, and this is why the Nazareth movement was set up, is to get the attention of a son of man that would be capable of establishing or re-establishing the kingdom of heaven, and overthrowing the colonial system and putting an end to the colonial system, and getting that person to go through with the brutal experience, because it was never going to be easy, right? Of actually doing that and making supplications for that particular individual. So that's why the ISIHABELELO becomes the motherfucking Bible, right? Because it's actually effectively became a way to get people to a heaven on earth, right? It's showing people to a heaven on earth. Unlike Christian doctrine that suggests, hey, look, you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you will automatically go to heaven. You will not be judged for your sins. That's the theological doctrine that is being preached, right? Where salvation, the concept of salvation has been supplanted by this idea that you'll be forgiven of your sins and you won't go to hell, when salvation has always been being one of those counted to be privileged enough to be in the presence, to live on this planet in the presence of the King of the heavens, of the true God, right? Beginning to be able to see him face to face. That's the salvation. Live with that person for eternity and inherit creation. That is essentially the biblical message. And I'm sorry, anybody that takes offense, it's too bad, right? Um, but here's a line from the Slavelelo that now begins the process of this exercise. We'll be publishing the motherfucking Bible, the visual book and the written manual. Here's where it's inspired, and this is the crazy thing about. So, given that Shembe responded to the literature, and he gave his congregation a couple of customs and traditions, one of the things that they don't do is in the context of Bantu people. Bantu people used MUTI. They used MUTI, and MUTI serves a purpose. And I'm going to point it out to you that every custom, spoken tradition, MUTI included, these are ways of preserving messages for a custodian that will come and be able to respond to those messages. So these are instructions, actually. So as I Shembe, instructs his congregation to not use. So let me actually read this quote. It says here, Kuyisona khona lokho. It's point 45 of the Sabbath prayer of the ISIHABELELO. Right, the motherfucking Bible, right? Right. Um, right. Kuyisona khona lokho ukuphatha umuthi ngesandla sakho uyikholwa uyokufa nokufa. Right. So that means it is a sin for you, being a man of faith, to hold, literal translation, to have muti, traditional medicine, in your hand. You will surely die. So what it actually means, and I'm not to get the wrong end of the stick. They say no, don't use muti. Now the concept, when you understand what is being said here, what Isaiah Shembe is saying is that don't think that it's actually the muti that's actually doing the work. Don't think you can go to a sangama, get some muti, and then things will magically happen. Use your hand. Make an intervention. Right? The muti is not there to do the work for you. So that's what it is to mamba or muti ngesandla sakho. So now here's the irony that I face, and what inspired the motherfucking Bible is a very interesting thing. Amita UBUNAZARETHA, complete hypocrite. He claims to be a Nazareth, but in the shadows, who he really consults and who he really um, respects is his traditional healer, right? But then he'll present himself to the congregation like a person that does not use muti. And he uses muti and he holds it with his hand because he believes it's actually the muti that does the work. Right. So he meets me and he claims he wants to help me. And I get to meet his traditional healer. And this is what I want to prove and point out to anybody that doesn't understand African spirituality, that this is actually the proof, is that we meet this traditional healer and he gets to, at the toe of bones, randomly understand the intricate details of my life, which becomes quite fascinating, right? And then he says, he proposes an intervention. Now, I'd had conversations with this man and said, bro, you must understand that when this muti is dispensed and I'm meant to use it, that it's not the muti that's doing the work. It's not going to happen magically. This, whatever is being said to me, is actually an instruction. It's a way of saying, dude, this is what you must do. So you using the muti is not the instruction. You using the muti is a way of putting in context the message. So the ritual itself of you putting the muti together and then performing a ritual, that ritual is a communication. Right. So fortunately I didn't get to or unfortunately, as I was about to respond, accordingly, this guy sabotages me anyways. Yeah, you know. um, right, by, so I want to play a clip from that just so you guys can hear what I mean. Okay.
Clothes he's gonna cut.
Yeah, we will cut it to the size of the clay pot we find there.
Okay.
Then you will do it in the bed.
Okay.
Then we see.
Well, and then basmati and all those things, nothing.
You put it there in the clay pot.
Just right on the other side. Basmati and what else? The salts, then the
We
sauce.
need the soils and the meaty and the
The
muti.
meat. Did you write beef there? Meat.
Beef.
Meat, no?
Yeah. Meat. Now right on the other side.
Meat. So then.
So this is slap bam in the middle of the consultation. This guy just told bones, and this is what he's suggesting would solve all my problems. In this consultation, by the way, he highlights that there's a family member of mine that is in my position and in my seat, and he's actually the real enemy because he's in possession of my inheritance, and his other family members as well, all fighting to have possession of my inheritance. And this is the real thing that was fucking me up. And this is essentially, if you do the math, that's the Dawana's bastard family. That's Shembe, the Shembe bloodline, and the inheritance that he's talking about. If you do the math, and you go back into this video clip, is the fact that Islalo Sukosi, which is INKOSI YASEKUPHAKAMENI, actually belongs and is intended for me. And that the ancestors are trying to get that to be in my position and to my possession. Not because I'm just a favorite kid, or it's because it is my possession. It is something that I'm the one that knows what to do with it. There's a purpose behind that whole seat in the first place. So this guy has made a suggestion, and this is the ritual. That's what I'm going to decode for you guys now. In the ritual that he asked me to perform that will solve my problems magically, and it's what I want to say to the people, that MUTI doesn't work because it works. It works because you are being incentivized to keep performing the ritual, or keep using the MUTI, or keep the MUTI in circulation, because there is an owner of the MUTI who knows exactly what to do with the MUTI. So it's like basically a way, when African people use MUTI, it's like basically a way of just keeping a certain thing in circulation. Like, I'll give you an example now. Here's this phone. I incentivize you to hold this phone, right, until the person that knows how to use the phone has it, right? So it's the same thing with MUTI. People use MUTI and it seemingly works, right, because they are being incentivized to keep the MUTI in circulation. But the real purpose behind the MUTI will only be revealed at the end, when the Mnegazi, the one that knows about it, actually knows what to do with it. Like, oh, okay, let's put it on. All right, that's a bone. This is what it can do. And only then be like, oh, wow, so this thing can communicate to people across the world. I can do all sorts of functions on it. Oh, wow, I didn't know. I was just told to hold this thing. I didn't know that it had all these capabilities. Yeah, look, it goes on. So this is the demonstration of that, is that this ritual that this Sangoma, trusted Sangoma, was told to tell me, was basically the code to say, dude, this is the intervention that you must make if you're going to defeat the members of your family and get access to your inheritance. Or if you're going to take your position, this is what you must do. So to a normal person, they could do the ritual and get away with doing the ritual and things would work out for them, right? But in my context, it's like, no, dude, this is an instruction to you. You must decode this instruction and respond accordingly, right? So shout out to Mr. James, because this is the name of the Sangoma. He's the guy that actually helped this guy who brought me there. Fucking asshole. Fucking creepy, two-faced bitch hole, right? Two-faced bitch hole. You know, you claim you want to help me, then when you're told, hey, this is who this guy is, help the guy, you say, oh. He's the coming king. No, let's sabotage him. Let's go ahead of him and sabotage him. So you contradict yourself. You know, I'm here to help you. You know what he was actually trying to do is like, oh, he heard that this guy has got a lot of money. Right? This guy's gonna be rich. So let me get my share of the wealth and position myself. But fuck this guy anyways. But then we realize that actually, no, this guy, I'm actually here to serve and help this guy. In his endeavors, he's like, no, I just came here for the money. I just came here to get my share and my cut of whatever. He didn't come here to help me. But that's besides the point. So I'm saying, here's the breakdown of the ritual. Have a clay pot. In the clay pot, there's bath muthi, traditional medicine. And then there's what we call iswasho. Like this is like the so-called muthi for the people who pray, right? And then there's a bit of meat in this clay pot and some soil, right? In this clay pot, right? Right. And then I'm meant to wrap this pot with 3 cloths, right? Different colors, white, red, and black. Wrap it, turn it around, wrap it, turn it around, wrap it, turn it around. Then I must go to a river and go and plant this clay pot in the bank of the river, like plant it, boom, in the bank of the river, and have a bath in the river, come clean in the river, in a flowing stream. So this is what I'm meant to do. And this is what this man is saying, that if you do this, this will solve all your problems. And then it's what, let's play the clip.
Meat. Let me write it here so that it's the same place.
It's
Meat, small meat.
yeah,
Yeah, it's small meat.
Okay.
So when you finish this, either your job, the guy who is with your job will move out. Then you go. Get it?
So, Mr. James, right now he's got business partners. Those people.
So the punko is not paying attention. He's thinking about my business and all of that. He's not paying attention from the first moment of this consultation. From the first moment of this consultation, he's being told that, hey, listen here, man, this guy's inheritance is the congregation, and his family members are the ones that are in the way. And these people must move. So you heard the man say, you do this ritual, the man in your position will move. Will move. You'll take your rightful position. So this is the claim, and this is the bet. This is part of the social experiment. Right. So the motherfucking Bible was conceived here to say, shit, I have to do something. I have to do something. And this is what I'm gonna say to you. The motherfucking Bible is made out of 3 pillars. The motherfucking Old Testament, which is the whack pole section of the channel. The marriage in heaven, which is the principles of the kingdom of heaven and earth. And Mbuso Wezulu, which is the implement of the kingdom of heaven and earth. So the symbolism is essentially the 3 cloths and the 3 elements in the clay pot, right? Which is the swasho, which is the bath muthi, is the Bantu consciousness stuff, right? Coming clean about being African, who we actually are, the swasho, which is coming clean about the principles of the prayers, of the congregation of the UBUNAZARETHA movement. And then the last part is the actual meat, the actual substance to the whole thing, which is the piece of meat that represents the actual implement, the actual sustenance. So all of that's in a pot now. So I'm telling you how I'm decoding it, right? So that's how I got to understand, oh shit, I have to do Bantu consciousness, get people to come clean and be like, dude, guys, we're Kafirs and we practice black magic. Swasho now, guys, fuck. This is actually coming clean on what the intent behind the prayers of UBUNAZARETHA is, and the request to implement the kingdom of heaven and the principles of what the kingdom of heaven is. And then lastly now, actually put down the tools and implement the actual kingdom of heaven on earth. That's the meat. Put that in the clay pot, present it to people in a way that they can come and eat and take and serve themselves, right? Which is the channel. And plant it in the bank of the flowing river. So this is where, the traffic is, plant it there so that anybody, any water, anybody that's coming past can bump into it. And then this is how I come clean. So I need to come clean with who I am and what I intend to do by doing this, making this intervention. And this is how I decode the message. So now I decode this message last year, and now I have to communicate to the guy that took me there. I say, bro, you there, we performed the ritual and nothing happened, right? And I'm saying to you that, let me explain to you what needs to be done. So this is the intervention we need to make. And when I point out to him, like, dude, we actually have to put up content and a channel. This is what I have to do, and actually come clean about what I'm trying to do. The moment I try to do this, he sabotages my asshole, dude. But anyway, shout out to him. We've done it now 9 months later, eventually got the means to be able to get this done and publish this motherfucking Bible. So this was the foundations of the motherfucking Bible. So this is what has really become the way, the manual, the way to get to a heaven on earth. Actually, so if the Bible in principle is actually the way to get to heaven, this has become the way to get to heaven on earth. So going through the motherfucking Bible, which is the 3 pillars of the Zulu social experiment, the whack pole, the marriage in heaven, participating in the social experiment is the way to heaven and earth. Facts, well, facts. You just have to put it to the test. If you say no, it's not a fact, let's see. But I'm telling you, the community, once the community participates in this, this is how we get there. This is how we get to a heaven on earth. This is how we re-establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. All right, so that's the motherfucking Bible. It's the foundations of the motherfucking Bible. So the irony here is that Shembe is using MUTI, I. 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 Shembe is using MUTI. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Ooh. Ay, nigga, Shembe's using new tea. Ay, nigga, Shembe's using new tea. Ooh. Ay, nigga, Shembe's using new tea. Ooh. Ay, nigga, Shembe's using new tea. Ooh. Ay, nigga, do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Motherfuck that shit. Do. Ooh, ay, new tea. Ooh, ay, nigga, Shemmy's using new tea. Ooh, ay, nigga, Shemmy's using new tea. Ay, nigga, Shemmy's using new tea. Ooh, Hey, nigga, diddle 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 diddle. Motherfuck that shit. Diddle 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 diddle. Motherfuck that shit. Diddle 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 diddle. Motherfuck that shit. Diddle 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 diddle. Oh, hey. So what's funny is that before I tied up, and I told him I'm gonna tie it up now, is the fact that Isaiah Shembe never came to, prevent Africans from practicing black magic, which is the science of transmitting messages through customs, spoken traditions, and even the use of MUTI to preserve messages for the custodians that are coming to receive those messages and respond to those messages. So Isaiah Shembe never came to stop us from doing that. But now I was saying the biggest irony, and why I'm singing this dirge is that Shembe is a MUTI, is to say that even the UBUNAZARETha that use Vaseline and water that's prayed for, that is a form of MUTI in itself. So the principle that needs to be learned here, and that's why I say, motherfucker shit, motherfucker shit. We need to recontextualize, and like the same way this ritual that was given was recontextualized. It is not the MUTI that actually does the work. We are incentivized to use the MUTI, and that's why it seems to work. And why we incentivized to use the MUTI, so that the custodian or the owner of the MUTI will come and be able to find it and have it in circulation, and then be able to use it appropriately in the context that it was intended to be used. So we're still gonna have the exercise where all the MUTI is put down and we're like, oh, this is what it's actually used for. Oh, this is what we gotta do. Oh, and this is the exercise of the Bantu people in this generation of Bantu people. So we need to be the custodians and the ones that actually respond to the messages that have been passed down through the use of the MUTI, the rituals that have been performed, and the spoken traditions. So this is what we gotta do. So yeah, awesome guys.